Williams Grove National Open. There's the king, Steve Kinser, in car number 11. Shane Andrews, an update?
Yes, Bobby. Steve Kinser's been doing this for a long time, as both you and Brad Doty can contest. 55-year-old driver out of Bloomington, Indiana, has been racing with a bulged disc in his back. Of course, that hit he took over here tonight in turn number 4 didn't help matters any. I asked him how he felt. He says, you know, it's there. This week, he will be going to see Dr. Trammell in Indianapolis about that bulged disc, and don't be surprised if he has surgery over the offseason.
Well, thank you very much for that, Shane, and I'm glad that you were able to bring that story to light because, you know, Steve Kinser travels around. He doesn't have a public relations representative spitting out things to the different internet sites, you know, every Monday giving updates on exactly what's going on with him. But he's not a guy that's going to make excuses, but we know he's been less than 100%.
Well, it's been bad enough. I've heard reports that his left arm will actually go completely numb at times, and that's obviously not a good sign when you're driving a race car. I mean, it's not a danger thing. You can still control the race car, but it takes your mental attitude out of it, basically. When you have anything else going on like that that takes your focus away from driving the race car, that's not a good thing. And as you said, he won more than 3 races his rookie season, and he's driving injured.
He's a tough guy.
Yes,
he's playing hurt.
And
no
he's not. Yeah, he's
about
not. And as a driver, you never want to show a weakness.
Right.
And I'm sure that's in Steve Kinser's mind. Don't let these guys think that you're playing hurt. You know, you don't want to give him any advantage there.
But he's also not a guy that's going to make any alibis for himself either.
Right.
You know, Steve's never been a woe is me type of guy. He pretty much takes the hand that he's dealt and plays those cards. And so Steve Kinser racing hurt here tonight at the Grove and raced himself into the 40-lap National Open feature event. Let's check out our super clean start of the race starting grid, and here's the way this baby is going to go down. It's going to be Greg Hodnett and Brian Monteith, the driver known as the Edge, up on the front row of this one. Jason Myers and Donnie Schatz. We've talked about it all night. The points battle, 9 points separating the two. They will line up side by side in row 2. Danny Lasowski and the Wild Child, Jack Hodenschild, in row number 3. The Wild Child's been fantastic tonight. Chad Layton's had success at Williams Grove. He'll line up alongside our quick timer, Pat Cannon. Paul McMahon making the rare appearance here at the Grove alongside Brooke Tacknell. Ed Lynch Jr. and Aaron Ott, son of the engine builder. Dave Ely and Brian Lepo, the B-main winner, and back in row 7, Jim Siegel and Steve Kinser will be in row 8. You see the rest of them dial by there up on the top of the crawl. But Brad, let's also explain why Steve Kinser starting 16th in the position that he's starting in when he transferred out of the B main. Basically, you have a chance to get your time back behind the dash cars. That means those top 5 rows are locked in according to the finish of the dash. Everybody else then goes back to their time trial laps to fill in the rest of the field, with the exception of the provisionals who are tagging the rear of the field.
Yeah, that's the way it works. It's based on qualifying. If you can come out of the B main, you get to start, you know, toward the middle of the pack, and it's big for these guys as you see them lining up the 4 abreast.
Boy, that's what all the fans have come here to get excited about. They're starting to get on their feet right now on the back straightaway as they go 4 wide.
You know, we talked about earlier in the show about Greg Hodnett, and I'll get to that in just a minute here, about him, whether he feels a lot of pressure. Here he's on the front row. Can he make it 3 in a row?
Let's go to Johnny Gibson, the voice of the world of outlaws, who is going to give the command that will excite them all.
Williams Grove Speedway, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
We're in posse country, but they still get excited at this time. Now everybody's up on their feet, waving their hats, waving their hands, waving their firstborn, but not too hard. Getting ready for this one, Brad. You have a favorite? I mean, can you pick one out?
No, I'm telling you, that's the beauty of this, and just it's so competitive here. It's so exciting to see the fans and everybody get into this. Can the posse do it again? Can the Outlaws knock them off finally? You know, it's great.
All right, let's go down to the pits, a quick whip around, and pick the winner, Aaron Crocker Evernham. Who's going to win this feature event?
I think it's hard to bet against Donnie Schatz. 4 National Open wins, and he confidently told me that he was going to victory lane tonight. Shane, who's your pick?
Well, Aaron, you know, it's sometimes hard to bet against history, and the statistics and numbers are on Donnie Schatz's side. But I think I'm liking the number 14 of Jason Myers. He's 9 points out. He knows what he's got to do, and he wants that first Williams Grove win.
Brad Doty.
You know, Just something I forgot about. We talked about earlier in the show. Schatz going after, beating the record of Steve Kinser. He and Steve Kinser have four national
Open wins.
Donnie Schatz has said this is big for him. If he can get 5, that may be a record he can take away from Steve Kinser. Not a lot of records you're going to take from Steve Kinser, and this could be one of them.
So you're still on the fence? You're not picking a winner?
I have to lean toward Donnie Schatz as well. I mean, how can you bet against that guy here at Williams Grove?
And I think we just go ahead and make it a 3-1 vote. Sorry, Shane. Shane went with Myers. I'll go ahead and go with Schatz, and we'll just see what happens. Nobody picks the pole sitter, Greg Hodnett. Could all be very, very wrong. Hodnett's only beaten the World of Outlaws twice already this season. He goes from the pole here. 40 long laps for the Williams Grove National Open. We hear the guys in the truck. They have the wild child Jack Hodenschild from row number 3. The green is in the air for the 47th National Open. Trouble on the front straightaway. Hodenschild upside down. Violent flip.
See him moving around though. Luckily that was a nasty flip, a vicious crash, but it looked like the car bounced front end to front end or back end. Not a lot of roll cage impact.
The top wing absorbs a bunch of that. That's one of the safety aspects that come into it in wing sprint car racing. You see Jack moving around there in the cockpit. Brad, you know Jack as well as anybody. He's certainly had his share of wild rides during his career. He is, after all, the wild child. Let's see what happens if we can figure something out. He's a little sideways there. He's in the 3rd row, Pink Panther on top of his car.
Oh.
Whoa, he just got driven into by Mark Smith.
Mark Smith comes from the inside of the racetrack right up into the side of Hodenschild. Oh, Steve Kinser gets into the back of the aeronaut, the 25. Look at all the cars banging and beating on the inside.
Okay, and
here.
we need to correct ourselves. That was Chad Layton, not Mark Smith. Mark Smith was at the rear of the field. That's Chad Layton in the Middlesworth number 7. But yeah,
sorry about that, Chad. Or Mark, yeah.
Chad just kind of violently veered to the right. I also just saw in that replay that Craig Kinser got some damage to his left rear wheel as part of the action here. But watch the Middlesworth car. It's way down on the inside, and watch it just steer. As Jason Myers said, at the end of these straightaways, the car wants to do something evil. And it may have done just that right there, and unfortunately Jack Hodenschild got the worst of it.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself there, you know, calling this thing. I mean, just watching the replays here as we're studying this, cars all over the racetrack on the inside beating and banging on each other. And I kind of think, you know, I said it looked like a pretty easy, but, you know, I'm not sitting in that race car.
Let's go down to Shane Andrews.
Well, guys, I'm down here in turn number 1, and this car is absolutely destroyed. Front end torn right out of it. Roof is, the wing is collapsed. This car is a write-off for the Carnahan Motorsports team. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm down here in the work area in the back of the pits. Craig Kinser, they replaced the left rear tire. It was cut open, some wing damage. Looks like he was part of that incident, but I think he'll be in good shape to get him back out there.
Yeah, Aaron, if we could see guys in the truck that replay a couple more times even, because there were so many things going on, and the 20 car of Craig Kinser had some contact with somebody right after Hod goes flipping. There's the contact between Layton and Hodenschild. And then Steve Kinser also and Aaron Ott getting together, and there's Craig going to go up over or get into Craig Delansky, it looked like.
Boy, it's just hard to keep up with everything that's going on down. Another look at it from a different angle.
I see Craig Kinser checks up a little bit, and it looks like Delansky gets into the back of the 20 car. Let's see it again in real time. Here's the start of the race. Wow. Violent stuff. Well, Aaron's down there around Chad Layton's car right now, and maybe we can try to figure out why Layton veered so far to the right.
I'm not sure what happened first, but both rear torsion arms are broken. Torsion stops are gone. I'm not sure what created it, but certainly a lot of work to do here to get him back on the track.
They continue to work with Chad Layton. It's like Chad Kimenaw down there pitching in.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the back. You see the torsion arms there, the aluminum arm you see there. Torsion bar completely gone out of the right rear of the car.
And now back to Shane Andrews, who can give us an update on the condition of Jack Hodenshield.
Yeah, Jack was able to climb out of the car under his own power, and he walked to the ambulance, of course, with a violent ride like that, guys. Precautionary measures, just want to take him and give him an observation and all the good stuff, but he was able to get out of the car and walk to the ambulance on his own power.
Well, Jack Hodenshield, the 51-year-old Sprint Car Hall of Famer, just recently inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
And earlier tonight, we saw that car, Jack, about as fast as he's ever been here in years, and had a good opportunity tonight. Unfortunately, it's all out the window now.
Well, we'll hope that everything's all right with Jack Hodenshield as they take the R19 back toward his pit area. We'll get everything cleaned up here on the front straightaway and get ready for a complete restart of the Williams Grove National Open. Still 40 long laps to go.